Welcome everybody to season 1 of Break Up the Daily Grind. If you are new to this shenanigans and tomfoolery, my name is Ben, and we are glad that you found us throughout this entire, I don't know, Corey, what would you call it?
Chaos.
Chaos, that's a good word for it. And since you probably didn't know me, you just heard my co-host Corey, who's across the table.
Yo.
Because, you know, we don't like each other enough to sit next to each other. He's just weird that way.
But we somehow like each other enough to do a whole podcast together.
Yeah, well, you know. Yeah, I do consider you family, so.
Oh!
Yeah, I know, that's a kick in the, but, you know, hey, it is what it is, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess so.
So, my co-host, and if some of you haven't heard yet, that Corey is actually my son, so we do this together.
Yep.
Which is kind of cool.
Well, yeah, no, cool.
Oh,
yeah, kind of cool. No, I'm
ouch.
kidding.
Wow, that's it. All right, season 1's done. We're over.
All right,
no more season 2.
Last season.
No. Yeah, just because you hurt my feelings. No, actually, you have to get up pretty early in the morning to hurt my feelings, Corey.
Fair.
Any rate, and yes, we are almost done with season 1. We only have 2 more episodes to go.
This is episode 28, I believe.
28. Yep.
So two to go.
We're going to 30, and then we're going to take the middle part of the summer off. Not necessarily off from doing this platform, but we are going to. It's going to take us time to transition into season 2 with recordings and.
Hopefully we can come up with some new ideas.
Yeah,
too,
new ideas, and of course, you know, if anybody has any great ideas or even mediocre ones at that, I mean, we'll take mediocre ideas.
Mm-hmm. We'll even take ideas that are so bad they're good.
Oh, now you're getting to that psychological stuff, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, there are movies that are so bad that they're good.
Yeah, they actually make money at the box office.
Yeah, because
I can't believe I just paid $30 to watch that garbage.
Because I don't know. It's just like you're fascinated by how something could be so bad that you have to go see it,
and you're still sitting there watching it.
Yeah, I know.
I can't remember the last movie I watched, but I was like, "We paid how much to go see that? Are you kidding me? That was horrible." And then it ends up coming out on TV, and then we end up sitting down and watching it again for some stupid reason. Yeah. I can't figure that out either.
Oh,
man, psychological stuff gets me every time.
Oh,
but yeah, like you said, even if you think you have a crappy idea, you know, we'll listen to it. We'll take it. Maybe we can change your mind to how good your idea really is. Mm-hmm. You can do that through email at mo9studios@gmail.com. You can do that on Facebook. Mm-hmm. You can do that on YouTube. Mm-hmm. You can even write me a letter and send it.
Yep.
But that won't work very well because I'm not giving my address.
True.
So you might as well just stick with the email. That'd probably work better. So, Corey, life.
So, Ben.
Life.
Yes.
Good or bad?
Exhausting.
Yes.
But not good in a good way.
Not in a good way?
No, in a good way.
In a good way.
Yeah, it's exhausting in a good way.
Yeah? I agree.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. You had a busy weekend?
I did. Couple dates.
Oh, snap.
I know. Hung out with some friends on Friday.
Yeah?
Then had a work meeting today. Have another one Wednesday.
Don't you have 3 of them this week?
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. One down, though. 1 down, 2
to go.
1 down, 2 to go.
Yeah, fortunately, I don't have to deal with meetings.
I rarely do. Usually I don't have to deal with meetings.
Right.
It's just our department doesn't work. You know, we're very what's the word? Our department's very decentralized. So we don't really all work in the same building stuff. We're spread out. So we have to get together once a month to figure everything out.
Make sure who everybody else is.
What everybody's up to, make sure everyone's on task and stuff. But we haven't had a department meeting in 6 months because we've been so busy with other things and preoccupied.
Right.
So we had the first part today, and that was 3 hours, and then we have the second part Wednesday, and that's
so
another 3
hours. They're making up
hours.
for the last 6 months.
Yeah, they are.
Oh.
And it sucks. It's so boring.
Right. I don't have to worry about meetings unless I do something very bad, and then that means that I'm the reason for the meeting.
And it could be the last meeting you'll ever have.
Well, I'm gonna have to screw up pretty bad. I don't think I'll get fired anytime soon, but
True.
there always is that possibility.
He's been around too long. We don't care.
Yeah.
Just let him get retired.
Right. 30 years
30 years.
this fall.
Yeah. How many
This
more
fall.
years to go?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Probably 3.
Not bad.
I'm depending on finances. I may have to stay a little longer, but at that point, I'd be like, just go ahead, piss me off. I'll just quit. Bye.
There you go.
I just retire tomorrow.
I'm putting in my retirement.
Yeah, my paperwork's all filled out. All I do is turn it in, buddy. Keep pushing that button.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad everything's good for you.
Yeah.
So before we get started today, we should probably let everyone know who sponsored this episode. And it is brought to you by
The Happy Household Podcast. Happy Household Podcast is a couple that wants to share the things in their life of challenges that has helped them make a home into a happy household.
I don't know. Have you ever listened to that one?
I have.
Yeah?
A couple times.
Yeah. Did you yawn in that one too?
No, I heard I got a couple shout-outs, though, in that one.
Yes. Unfortunately, yes. Well, not unfortunately, but yeah, we do talk about you guys.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense for what the topic of the podcast is. So,
yeah. Yep.
Kids are part of the household.
Yep. And we're just about ready to wrap up season 1 there, too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Matter of fact, it'll probably be about the same time we wrap this one up.
Oh, well, that works. Works
Yeah.
out perfect. Put a nice little bow on everything.
Yeah, it's so I can take the summer to, edit and do all this stuff that
Figure
comes.
things out.
Man alive. I
manage stuff a little better,
Yeah,
figure out a more efficient way to.
Everyone says, "Oh, podcasting's easy. It just sit down and horse shit."
No.
There's a lot of stuff that goes along with that.
Ben does a lot of the heavy lifting for the editing and then the recording and stuff and maintaining all the social media pages for his multiple podcasts. It's a lot of work.
It's almost like a whole other job.
Yeah, and we're everybody who does it with them is very appreciative of it. So,
it's a lot of
and
work,
I don't think we thank you enough for that because we are, and at least I can say I am very appreciative for all the hard work that you do.
I know everyone is, and it's okay. I don't have a whole lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind doing it. I'm getting good at it.
I know you said you have a good time doing it for the most part too. You like it.
The social media is what I'm not a social media person, so when it comes to social media, I have a hard time keeping up with that.
Yeah,
I'm not on there nearly enough. I'm not because there's 3 of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have time to. Not only I can focus on one, and I can usually stay pretty good at that one, but then the other 2 go.
I mean, to be fair, between your podcasts and work and kids and family life and then stuff around the house and everything,
Oh, I'm a busy boy.
Yeah, very busy boy. Very busy.
Yeah. But hey, you know what? I can rest when I die.
Well, so let's hope it's not anytime soon.
No, I'm stubborn as hell. You ain't getting rid of me that easy.
Good.
So, with the bills paid, now we're going to go on to our bit of dad jokes.
Cool.
Normally, we would like to have a dedication for this, so we can say, so-and-so is an excellent dad, mother, father, dog, teacher, whatever, neighbor, and they deserve the dedication or the recognition of what they do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
This section of dad jokes we like to dedicate to those people. It does not have to be a dad. It can be a grandpa, neighbor, aunt, uncle, nephew, niece, daughter. It doesn't matter. We don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I think the humor in life is what makes that special. This week we didn't get one, but we're still going to do the dad jokes just the same. Why? Because we like them.
Oh, yeah. Big dad joke fans.
Yeah. And I dug to the bottom of the bucket on this one.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. You ready for these, Corey?
I don't know. Should I be?
No, you shouldn't. But we're going to give them to you anyway. All right?
All right.
Okay, here we go. What do mermaids use to wash their fins?
I don't know what.
Tide. Yeah.
That's stupid.
Oh, they get better.
I think that's the wrong word.
That was sarcasm. What did the skillet eat on its birthday?
I don't know what.
Pancakes.
I'm not laughing at that
No.
one.
No. I told you, I dug to the bottom for these.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, well,
good Lord.
because we're talking about doing a season finale, I gotta save some of the good ones if we're gonna do that.
Yeah, that's
you know?
true. That's true.
Okay, I might make up for it here. We might go the other way.
Are
on
we
these.
going up now?
Maybe, yeah. Why couldn't the produce manager make it to work?
I don't know why.
He could drive, but he didn't avocado.
What? Oh.
Avocado. Produce.
Wow, these are bad.
They're
We
bad.
should just stop it right here.
Oh no. I hold up my hand. I have a redeeming joke right here, the very last one. I saved it for best. Just got it today. Didn't even make the list. You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Why did the god of thunder stretch his legs?
Why?
'Cause he was a little Thor.
Okay, that was a good one. I like. All right. That one saved it.
No, it didn't. But it made up for some of it.
It did make up for a little bit.
Well, I know that made a lot of people scratch their head and say, "What the hell am I listening to?"
If
But
you haven't left yet, then thanks.
Oh yeah. Hey, you know what? If you made it past that point, it's all uphill from here. I promise you.
Don't make false promises.
Yeah, though some of those hit the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah,
I mean,
some of those were pretty bad.
those were bad. Yeah. So that's probably why we didn't have dedications, because they're like, I ain't dedicating that stuff to nobody. That's terrible.
Are you kidding me?
Well, if you found them funny,
I like the last one.
yeah, if you find them funny, then you might want to click the follow button there, because we got more of those. I do have to admit those were pretty bad.
Yeah, those ones were kind of rough.
Yeah, so they're usually not that bad, but I was putting them in the list, and I was like, I had a whole bunch of them that were just terrible. I'm like, I haven't had the chance to put new ones in the list, and I'm like, man, I don't have time to put them in the list.
There's always going to be duds, though.
Oh yeah.
So
But I should have
get them out of the way.
I should have split them up so they're not on the same episode. Now, with that out of the way, and now that your ears are bleeding from terrible jokes.
Yeah, I muted my my headphones.
Did you? That's probably best. I think I muted mine too. We can get on with today's topic.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I can see you're over there digging for. So the topic of today is we're going right with the subreddit stories.
Subreddits, probably for the rest of the episodes, I'd say, and then we can, like we said, we'll probably try figuring out some other stuff to do for next season. Come up with some new ideas and whatnot.
Right.
So keep things fresh. We'll probably keep the subreddits too, but just not as prevalent.
We'll try to split them up. We'll try to break them up a little bit.
Yeah, because we like doing those.
Yeah,
those
subreddits. Sometimes I gotta scratch my head and say, "What the hell is wrong with people?
What am I reading?"
Yeah, I just wasted an hour of internet time for that. Okay, you got one ready to go?
Am I the asshole? My husband will invite his family and friends over without telling me until that day. He then expects me to clean, run to the store, and prep/cook everything. I finally just decided to leave the house the last time he told me because I only had 4 hours till their arrival, and he canceled. The thing is, his family is constantly judging and talking about each other, so when he says it doesn't matter, they don't care, I know and he knows he's full of it. Also, it's not just tidying the house. We are not regularly stocked in food or drinks to have people over. When I got home, I asked what he was planning on having for dinner, and he responded, I don't know. I guess it's good that they aren't coming over anymore. Now he is sulking, saying I'm the problem because I can't go with the flow. I've told him multiple times I just need a couple days notice to get things in order, but he insists I am just difficult, uptight, and uncooperative.
Are these two married?
I'd assume, yeah, it said my husband.
Oh, I see one word coming into this really quick.
Divorce.
Yelp. Like, you.
Oh my goodness.
You're painting a picture, buddy, that's going to fail.
See, I just think about stuff like, how do you just...
You're so rude.
Not even like in the grand scheme of things, like human beings as a whole. Okay. How do you just like, how are some people just so nonchalant about who they decide to like marry and just like decide to spend their life with? You know?
Most people don't. A lot of them are not spending their lives with them people.
No, because they're making the wrong decision,
They're
like
just
right
being
off the bat and stuff. It's like people pick the first thing that shows up on their doorstep.
I really don't know.
I mean, feel it might just be because like we're seeing the bad side of it. Because like this is specifically a subreddit designed for like issues,
pointing out
the bad parts and stuff. Yeah. But it just seems like there's so many people where it's like, and it might also be just because we only see the one single situation too, where it's just like, but like they write things like this, like if my like if my wife was telling me that I was difficult, uptight, and uncooperative, they make me second guess decisions,
right? Like,
especially if
why
this,
are you
like,
with me if I'm that bad?
If that's like things that aren't desirable to you, and I'm that bad, why are you with me then?
Right.
And so it's just I think about things like that. And I'm like, you're with this person, and you've pointed out these things, and these are clearly bad things to you, and you're planning on spending your whole life with this person.
Does he have like boatloads of money?
Yeah, I don't.
I can't.
I don't know. I just feel like there's a point where like you got to have some self-respect and just
and self-respect is a two-way street. You have to, in order to get it, you have to give it.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. I just feel like
it's disheartening to hear a lot of these stories because it's like this is society.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, how are we going to function as not just as a society, but as a race? As a human race, how are we going to function? We will literally be the downfall of our own selves because of our own stupidity.
We're really self-destructive.
Extremely. I mean, not only to ourselves, but to everything around us, right?
Well, it seems like the average person, and obviously I'm not saying this is everybody and stuff, but like the average person, you give them a good decision or a bad decision, one that'll clearly enhance their life and one that'll clearly make it worse. It seems like people always lean towards the bad decision, and that might be a lot of psychological stuff too, where it's like, maybe they don't feel like they're deserving of the good thing, so they choose the bad thing because that's what they feel like they deserve. And there's a whole lot. That's a whole big rabbit hole you could go down for that type of
why did you have to uncover the rabbit hole right off the rip?
I don't know, it just popped into my head. I thought it was worth talking about. I thought it was an interesting thing to bring up.
We are not professionals, right?
No, oh, absolutely.
But psychologically,
I'm armchair psychologying it right now,
psychology is not something that we are professionally trained in.
Absolutely not.
I don't even know how to explain why people do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure everyone listening and yourself sees it on a regular basis. They always see that one person that has no respect for anybody, right? At the grocery store, they'll bump into you. They'll walk in front of you. They won't say nothing. They won't even apologize, and they'll give you a dirty look. They do it on the road. They do it everywhere, right? And it's like, what did I do to deserve to be treated like a turd?
Mm-hmm.
And then at
apparently
some point,
just existing.
Yeah, at some point though, and this covers a lot of things. At some point, the good people start acting like the shitty ones because it don't do them no good. Workers are the same way. You take a worker that's a hard worker that does their job, goes above and beyond to make everything work right. And eventually, if they have to work with somebody who's a tool, at some point in time, they're going to quit caring.
Well, it's because they see another side of it. You know,
it doesn't do no good because the harder I work.
Yeah, this person is a tool. They don't do their job half of the time. They're still getting the same recognition that I'm getting, and
they're not doing any work.
And they're not doing anything.
I'm working twice as hard
if
and
anything,
expected to keep working that way.
If anything, a lot of the people are predatory, and they'll take advantage of the person doing all the other stuff.
Yeah, because they don't have to. Because they're lazy.
Yeah, you know.
And that might be about the best way that you can explain that is just people are lazy.
Yeah. So
it's easier to do nothing.
It's hard. It's harder to be a good person, and a lot of times it's you'll be just as rewarded if you're
hard work pays off.
That's
all there is to it. Hard work pays off.
I mean, not right away usually, but
yeah, but we're not here for tomorrow's not our last day.
No,
you should be in it for the long haul.
Yeah. Right? Well, I also think it depends on you set yourself up, for the type of conditions that you want to be in.
Right.
For going back to this, for example, I guarantee if her husband acts like this on a daily basis and whatnot, there were signs long before they got married.
But according to the story, though, it's just, yeah, he says some things that are completely uncalled for.
Maybe not this one, but previous ones we've read.
Oh yeah, before, there's a few that we've read before.
Where it's
some people are just always like that.
Yeah, where it's clearly they've been like this for a long time, and
always.
It.
Yep.
So why you have the power to make that situation better. Yeah. Whereas with you described work and there's not all the time do you have the power to
I work
change
with the
that.
Same people day
exactly.
In, day out.
So, but at least that's something you can take control of.
Yeah, but even though he said things that are probably not right to say,
I'm not saying this specific situation. I'm more so referring back to previous ones.
Yeah,
but this one might be
because they might have a relationship that's actually really good, and this just happens to be the one situation.
Bump in the road.
Yeah, and any relationship, no matter how hard you work at it, you're going to find a pothole. You're going to hit that pothole and blow a tire. I don't care who you are, how good of a relationship you have, you're going to find it. What makes the relationship work is how you work through it, right? This guy's being something, right? That doesn't mean he's a bad person.
That's fair.
She's talking about this situation, about
this
particular thing, and I understand kind of where she's coming from, because if you're going to respect your spouse, no matter who it is, right? If you know your spouse and you respect that person, you're going to understand, okay, this person needs a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to plan something, I always make sure that I clear it through Amy.
Yeah.
And I'm not asking for permission. I'm asking her, but I'm really not asking for permission.
No, it's more mutual respect.
It's more of, this is what I'm planning. Is this day work good for you?
Yeah.
Right? If we got something going on or if something that I've missed on the schedule, then she'd be like, no, that doesn't work because we got this going on. Okay, cool. I'll pick another day. That doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. And I think that he needs to show her that, all right, look, I get that you have to plan things out and you have to have time to go get it. Yeah. I respect you for that. Hey, in 3 days, whatever, I'm going to plan this. Or, if it is last minute, say, look, I know it's last minute. Is it all right? Whatever. And get on the same page with her.
Yeah.
Because if not, you're going to say stupid shit like that and look like the asshole.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, show them respect, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, that's what I said. I'm like, shh, you plan the party, you go get the shit. So
someone said, not the asshole. The fact that he canceled instead of doing the prep work and hosting on his own proves that he knows how much work is involved in going with the flow. If he doesn't want to do it, why should you?
Right.
No,
I agree. If you're gonna do something, you might as well figure on doing it. Right?
Someone replied to that comment and they're like, I pray this marriage doesn't find me.
This one is titled, Am I the Asshole for Kicking My Mom Out of My House After She Stole My, yes, it's pathetic, but houseplant? I'm going to keep this short because I really need an opinion on this. I, female, 22, have recently moved into my first apartment after ages of trying to find a job after college. It's been a pain, but I've managed to get away from my mom and dad. I've been here about a month, and 2 days ago, my parents came around the house for dinner. As a small side note, my partner passed away last year, and I've really been struggling without him. The last thing he gave me for my birthday was a very small houseplant. One of those ones that are pretty much survive forever if you take care of it. So anyways, after dinner, I clean up and I notice it's gone. Of course, I go into absolute panic mode because it's the last shared thing from my past partner. I look all around the house for a good 30 minutes and I can't find the thing. Of course, I get suspicious. It's hardly difficult to lose a goddamn houseplant. Like, what did it do, grow legs and walk away?
Yeah, houseplants don't typically move positions.
Not unless it's haunted, and that's a whole nother subject. I call up my parents, and my mom seems really suspicious when I ask her about it. After further questioning, she eventually gives up. She stuffed it into her handbag with her and took it. Of course, I was pissed and demanded it back. My mom kept saying, "It's not a big deal, honey. It's just a plant." So,
what?
Yeah. So,
I got words, but I'll let you finish.
So despite saying it's the last shard of my partner that I physically have left, I haven't spoken to her since, and I've really been considering going over there and giving her a piece of my mind. But at the end of the day, it is a plant, and she does collect them. Plus, it's my mom. Am I the asshole?
Did she? I might have missed it. Did her partner, pass away?
Yeah. Now, as a small side note, my partner passed away last year.
Oh, okay.
And I've really been struggling without him.
My main question is why?
Why would you?
Why even steal the plant in the first place? The second is, it may not seem like a super big deal in that it's just a plant, but there's a lot to unpack here.
Right.
One, this plant has clear sentimental value,
which is
to you,
yeah.
Because like you said, it's one of the last physical things you have.
Yes,
to remember your partner by. That would be like if somebody stole my dad's hat that I had and kept it and stuff.
Even after you called him out and said, "Dude, you took my hat. What the hell?"
Yeah.
Well, it's just a hat. Well, you're right, but it's not. It's just a hat
to you,
but it's not just a hat. It has a whole, like you said, sentimental value is high.
Two, if she's comfortable enough to just straight up take a plant from you, especially one that has that level of sentimental value and stuff, what's to stop her from just taking other things that she sees around your house?
But did the mom know that was the plant that she got from her partner?
I would assume so. Well, why wouldn't she know that?
Maybe not, because it may be a plant that she's had.
Regardless, you should steal somebody's plant.
No, you're absolutely right. So, and to answer her question, no, she's not the asshole. And yeah, I would consider. I don't see any part of being wrong of going over and telling your mom, "Look, this is not cool."
Even if it didn't have the sentimental value, you still wouldn't be the asshole. You like if your partner didn't give it to you, then you must have bought it. And it's your plant. She's not respecting your boundaries by just stealing it. Like, what? That seems so crazy.
Mother or not, it's still stealing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's still. At
I
the
don't
end
know.
Of the day, it's still stealing.
In her mind, the mom's like, "Oh, well, she won't mind if I just take this. It's just a plant."
Well, she said she collects them, so she must have an issue with taking plants, even if they're not hers.
Why not just ask?
Right. Why not just go over your mom's and get your damn plant back?
Yeah. At the very least, she could have asked and been like, "Oh, well, you can't have this one, but this is where you can get them."
Right. I was just
not the asshole at all. What a weird thing to just take.
Right. What's the problem? She just go to your house and take it back. Just go to her house and take it back. Change the lock on your apartment and never let her back in unless you're there. Well, she was there the first time and she still took it.
Yeah.
But next time, if you invite her over,
got to do a plant count once she leaves.
Before you leave, Mom, I hate to do this to you, but before you leave, you got to empty your handbag.
Yep.
All your pockets. Let's see them.
Let's see the plants.
Yep. Let's see what I got to account for. Of course, then she'd be like, well, I'm your mom. Like, yeah, and you're a thief.
I'm your mom. Well, 911's the number for the cops.
I got a shovel in the backyard. The hell with the cops.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man. It's because this person says, the only thing that's pathetic here is your mom. Stealing from your own daughter? What the? And even something so much emotional weight. What kind of terrible mother does that?
Yeah, for real.
It's terrible.
Am I the asshole for eating ice cream every night, just like I always do, and not stopping just because my sister-in-law doesn't want my niece to see it?
She doesn't want her niece to see ice cream?
I don't think she wants her niece to see her eating ice cream. Or I don't know. I'm going to dive into it.
Okay, dive into it and see what happens, because that's weird.
Most nights after dinner, I eat a small ice cream cone. Now I want ice cream.
It doesn't sound that bad, actually.
I'm going to go up to Dairy Barn.
Oh, now you're the asshole.
Yeah. I am. And you're not invited.
Yeah, you're the asshole.
Most nights after dinner, I eat a small ice cream cone. It's literally the Little Joy mini cups with a teeny scoop of ice cream. Maybe a big scoop if I'm having a rough day, but that's kind of rare. I don't drink alcohol or smoke weed or do anything, in quotes, fun. So this is
what a square.
This is my one fun thing I do for myself. My brother and his wife and daughter are staying with me for a few weeks. They'll be gone by June 15th. I'm happy to have them here. Usually we'll eat dinner together and go our separate ways for the evening. They watch a lot of TV, so they're usually all in the living room watching. I've been eating my little ice cream cone, but my sister-in-law approached me and asked me if I could stop. She said that my niece is starting to ask why she doesn't get to have ice cream, and that obviously she was lied to by my sister-in-law when she told her ice cream is a sometimes food. Okay.
Well, see, now it's not about her eating it. It's the fact that the mom doesn't want her daughter to have any.
Well, now it's the fact that the mom lied to her daughter because she's like, this is a sometimes food, and now her sister's eating it every. She's not wrong.
She's not wrong.
I'm just saying you
not
can't.
Right either, but she's not wrong.
You can't punish your sister who likes enjoying an ice cream cone every night because you misconstrued or like you messed up like how to explain it to your daughter.
Okay, so that's fine. I'll put my ice cream away. Hey niece, come over here. We'll roll a blunt together. We'll share that instead.
Yeah, here's a bottle of alcohol really quick. You know, here's a Corona. Let me just pop a cold one for you. Yeah.
Go from cold ice cream to cold beer.
Yeah.
There you go.
Who says Friday night's got to be for the boys? Am I right? Am I right, niece?
Sounds like a party.
I said that I wasn't going to stop, but I couldn't wait until she was in bed. I figured that was a good compromise, and I do get that she's trying to raise her little girl to have a healthy relationship with food. But waiting until she was in bed didn't work because she came into the kitchen multiple times to ask me for some. Kids always be getting out of bed, man, to like get into things they're not supposed to. It's the worst. I know I did that. Bedtime, creeping down the stairs. What are you guys watching? Go to bed, Corey.
Right.
Wait.
I gotta go potty.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Your bedroom's right next to the bathroom. You don't have to come downstairs for that.
I'm hungry. Yeah. You should have ate dinner.
Yeah. I'm thirsty. I need something to drink. You had plenty. There's water in the sink upstairs.
Yep. You're about to be lapping it like a dog here in a second.
Hey, keep this up. You're gonna drink out of the toilet bowl.
My sister-in-law was definitely a little incredulous over it and kept saying, really? Do you seriously need to eat ice cream every single day? Or stuff like that. I said no, But she also doesn't need to drink a glass of wine every day either. Oh, shit.
Now the good stuff comes out.
She didn't like this and sighed a bunch and has been visibly annoyed with me since then. My brother asked me if I could stop just to avoid the drama. Yeah, he's probably like, you guys are fighting, and I have to hear it before we go to bed every night.
I don't want to get in the middle of this cat
I'm
fight.
not dealing with this. Can we please just... But I said, I deserve my little treats. Am I the asshole?
Whose house was it?
Her house.
There you go.
Yeah.
Her house, her rules.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't like it? Don't come back.
Yeah, don't come back. You know?
Come for a night. Whatever. Whatever.
So she actually left. She wrote more. I think it was a response. Hi, so I decided to log off this post and not come back. This post has just gotten completely out of control with really over-the-top overreactions and people trying to encourage me to make things worse or escalate and call my sister-in-law an alcoholic or to purposely eat more ice cream in front of my niece. Some of you are just like chomping at the bit to call people names and be sarcastic and nasty to me for no reason. That's not really what I was expecting, and we're not allowed to delete posts, so I'm just going to log out and move on. She's talking about the comment section.
Right. Yeah. Honestly, though, I mean, I understand she's trying to save face, and she may not be that kind of person that's confrontational.
Yeah.
Because I get it. But they're visiting you, and it's your rules.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you go visit them, how would your sister like it if your sister-in-law like it if you went to her house and says, you know what, I don't want to see you drinking wine every day because, that's not good for you, or, I have problems with it, or what. That's you telling her how to live in her house. Just like she shouldn't be telling you how to live in your house.
I still think, even if you have, like, in moderation, one little ice cream cone a day,
right.
I still think that counts as a sometimes thing, because it's like
sometimes
dessert
after work.
Yeah, it's a dessert after you eat your food and stuff.
Right.
I mean, when we were younger, we would like eat dinner and then we'd be allowed to get a snack,
exactly,
every night. At one snack a night, one ice cream a night. As long as you're not eating like one, like 4 times a day, throughout the day and stuff. And like, then yeah, I get that. Then I understand. But I still feel like that falls under the category of like, oh, sometimes, and I think that's still a fine habit. You can teach good eating habits that way too, by being like, okay, if you eat all your dinner like you're supposed to, if you eat your chicken and your vegetables and everything, then you can have a small ice cream cone after,
I'll be like your mom couldn't say you couldn't have this, but shh, just between you and me, here you go. It's a sometime snack, and this is just one sometime.
Don't tell her.
Yeah, shh. You'd be the niece that the aunt that the niece always wants to go see. They didn't say how old the kid was, did they?
No, they didn't.
Yeah, it sounds younger.
Someone said, I'd give her an ice cream every day. At least she could enjoy being a kid for a few days before she goes back to lockdown. be the cool aunt. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see where the poster would say, no, I can't do this, but this is just not me. But they're trying to tell you that what you're doing, there's nothing wrong with, and there's not really any wrong way to raise your kids.
Yeah,
but it's not right for somebody to tell you how to live your life.
Yeah, she's not wrong in being like, I don't want her to like, have ice cream every night. My
kid
niece
can have ice cream.
They
once
can,
in a while.
but like
Come on.
still. There are parents like that where it's gonna be like, I don't want them to have ice cream and stuff.
Right.
And sadly, it is a valid, that if that's how they parent, then that's how they parent.
Yeah, I'm not one to tell people how to parent.
Yeah. And so I think it's more so a lot of people were upset by the hypocrisy of it, where it's like, oh, well, you're not allowed to have ice cream every night, but
Mama can have a glass of wine.
Yeah, she can have a glass of wine, which I feel like in the eyes of society, because wine is alcoholic, it would be considered worse than ice cream in that regard. But,
I see where you're going with that. It is hypocritical to tell somebody they can't do something in their own house.
Yeah.
but get mad when they call you on something you do.
And I think it's one of those things where the parents just like trying to get by anyway, where they're like don't have to constantly tell their child no and stuff. They're like, can you not do that because I'm sick of telling her no for the 15th time about, well, you're the parent, tell her no, or let her have an ice cream if it's bothering you that much, you know. It's not going to be the end of the world if she has one ice cream cone. And, you know, as long as she's behaving and eating her food and not throwing a tantrum about it, you know, I don't really see the harm.
Of course, you know, there might be she might say a little ice cream, but maybe it's a half a gallon ice cream.
Maybe half a gallon, or it's one of those big drumsticks, you know, like
big drums with 6 scoops on top.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
no,
you're not the asshole. And to be fair, I don't think the sister's the asshole either. The sister-in-law.
I think she's being disrespectful. I think tell her how to live in her own house. But other than that, no, she's not.
I don't think so. I think it's just like.
I got one right here. It says, "Am I the asshole for telling my friend I felt hurt? They didn't offer me anything after winning $5 million on a lottery ticket that I gave them."
Oh, that's a tricky one.
I gave my best friend a $2 scratch-off lottery ticket as a part of their birthday gift. Notice it says gift.
Yep.
Right? Just as a joke kind of thing. Like, maybe you'll hit it big. Nothing serious. Well, they did. Right in front of me. 5 whoppers. $5 million.
Wow.
They freaked out. Oh, God. Hell, I'd be freaking out.
Yeah.
Screamed. They called their parents. Started crying. And honestly, I was happy for them in the moment. But deep down, I kind of expected they'd offer me something. Not half. Not even $1 million. He said not even $1 million. Just something, a gesture. Instead, I got, "Oh my God, thank you. This is insane." And that was it. No follow-up. No, let me take care of dinner. There's no, here's a little something to change your life. Nothing. I didn't say anything at the time, but it seems it's been sitting with me ever since. Part of me feels greedy when thinking about it. But the other part of me is like, seriously? Not even a few grand?
Not even a few
grand. Not even a few grand. I can't believe it. I just read that way. I've told a few people I got mixed reactions. Some say, you gave it as a gift.
Yep.
And that's the end of it. Others,
and that should be the end of it.
Others say, your friend's cold as hell. So, yeah, would I be the asshole if I brought it up? Or should I just eat it and move on?
Move on.
Yeah, eat it and move on.
You gave it as a gift.
Right.
Now you're letting the green-eyed monster, show his face and everything.
And the sad part is now it's affecting your friendship.
Yeah. You're not entitled to the $20 that you would have originally given them as a gift just because you gave it as a gift. Why would you be entitled to the $5 million that they won from a gift that you gave them?
I just wouldn't give them anything no more. I mean, if I was this person, if my buddy gave me a ticket and I won it big, you damn right I would give him something.
Yeah.
Right?
But it wouldn't be because they gave it to me.
No,
It'd just be because like
a
generous person,
right.
Like that's just like the type of person you are.
And after things calm down, maybe they will.
That's a lot of things. That's like I read about like online people who like win big and stuff, like people they're close to go through like a psychological change because of like them winning lots of money and
assholes come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
They're like, how about, I could really use this. Like, you're my best friend, No.
I think it's interesting to me that when someone has a lot of something, how many people feel like entitled to it, because it's like, well, you have more than enough for yourself, so why not, but that's my money though. Like,
or they suck up to you trying to get something out of it.
Why, if you're not going to ask me for money when I have like only 1,000 in the bank, why is it right for you to ask when I have 5 million in the bank?
I mean, I can see where the greed part makes the poster a little butthurt, but
too, because
it's not your money.
I can understand too. It's probably really frustrating as a human being with human reactions and emotions, holding a ticket for $5 million.
That's probably what irritates them the most.
That's probably what's upsetting them the most.
I should have kept that one for myself. I should have got 2 of them.
Yeah.
And kept that one.
Yeah. And they're probably kicking themselves in the foot about it and stuff. Oh, yeah. That part I could understand is really frustrating. You just gave away $5 million, you know?
Eat it. Move on.
Yeah, for real. Eat it. Move on.
Don't let the money destroy a friendship.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because that's no bueno either. But I'd still be friends with them.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
Hey, we go do stuff. You're footing the bill. Remember that?
Yep. You got the money now.
Yeah. That was my get out of paying shit when we're together. Take it right there.
Am I the asshole for telling my wife's stepdad our newborn son isn't calling him father?
Whoa. Back up the crazy train. Read that one more time.
Am I the asshole for telling my wife's stepdad our newborn son isn't calling him father or dad?
My wife's stepdad would not be dad to the kid at all.
I don't know either. Yeah, I'm going to read it. And see what.
Wow, okay.
Okay. My 27 male wife, 27 female, father passed away when she was 9. And her mom remarried to her stepdad when she was 15. My wife and her stepdad have always butted heads because he oversteps and has tried to force himself as a father figure in her life. When my wife's mom married him, they both made it very clear that he was never going to be her dad, and he basically had no control over her, and he has reluctantly accepted that over the years. Fast forward to today. My wife gave birth to our son a week ago. He is the first...
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats. He is the first grandbaby on both sides, so all the grandparents are trying to figure out what they want to be called. My wife's stepdad's name is David and wants our son to call him Avi, which means father in Hebrew. My wife and I are uncomfortable with our son calling him this, so we asked him if there was another name he could go by.
Pick another one, you weirdo.
And he made a fuss that he intentionally didn't want to be called Grandpa because my wife has made a point in the past that his actual grandpa is no longer with us, but now he's complaining that we aren't going to be happy with any other name he wants to go by. Am I the asshole for telling him my son isn't calling him father?
No, you're not.
You're not the
Not even close, because that's a whole creep factor that I'm not even going to dig into. But the whole thing about being called grandfather, I get, right? Mm-hmm. I recently, last year-ish, not quite a year, but I became a grandfather as well.
Oh, you're a grandpa. That's right.
and for the longest time, I was like, nope. Not going to happen. Nope. You do not call me that whatsoever.
What, grandpa?
Yeah. I don't really care for it. I mean, I don't know.
What do you want them to call you then?
Ben would be fine.
Ben?
Yeah. But
you want the kid to call you Ben when he gets older? That
was it's now that he's here. Yeah. It is a little different. But up until that point, I was like, yeah, no. And I would never expect your kids to call me grandpa.
I mean, they probably will.
They probably would. But that would be a choice that you would make, not me.
Yeah.
Right?
And because that's a choice that I'm comfortable with making and being like, they will probably call you grandpa. Right. As long as that's something you want to be called.
Right. Because, and even today, you don't call me dad.
No.
You call me Ben.
But that's because different circumstances. I didn't meet you as, a father figure. Well, I did in a way, but they're coming into this world with the knowledge that you will be, But
it's the fact, though, that you are the one that's entitled to make that call.
Yep.
Not me.
Yeah.
If I force that upon you, then I'm making decisions for somebody else that I have no right to make decisions for. Even though that you're my stepson, right?
Yeah.
Even as my biological daughter, I would not ever ask her to make her kid call me something.
Yeah.
Regardless, right? It's not my place, right? It is her immediate family. Once she moves on, and starts a family of her own, I take a back burner.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of parents don't necessarily like to hear it that way.
Yeah.
But they are having their own life. They are one.
Yep.
Right? I'm only here for support.
Yeah.
I don't get the right to make that call. So, yeah, you're not the asshole for saying, no, where he's not calling you that. And, dude, why would you want your grandson or step-grandson to call you dad?
Yeah,
Father?
that's kind of weird.
That adds a whole creep factor that I just, no.
I feel like there's a deeper deeper thing to that.
Now, they said something about Hebrew, so they might be Jewish.
Yeah.
Or some,
I think Hebrew's Jewish.
Yeah, they may be Jewish, and that might have a whole different meaning behind it.
I don't know if in Hebrew there's even a word for, so maybe father is synonymous with grandfather in Hebrew. I'm not sure though.
I don't know. Take 2 seconds to find out. Well, it comes in a weird dialect. I can't read it. It's not English. See if we can hear it.
Saba.
Saba
Saba
is Hebrew for grandfather. Is that what it said?
No. It said Avi. A-V-I.
Abba.
Ava.
Abba.
Yeah.
Abba is father.
Yeah.
Right? And grandfather is?
Saba.
Saba. So there is 2 different words for that.
Okay, so there is.
Right? So that's just...
So he's just being weird.
That's just being weird. I mean, you could have gone...
I don't understand...
You could have gone with Pops.
Yeah. I don't understand what his obsession is with wanting to be called dad or
he
father.
Said father.
Yeah.
But still, that's
weird.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And you won't be babysitting for me either.
Yeah, for real.
That's just, weird.
Oh gosh.
Okay. Am I the asshole for arguing with my parents about jobs?
Nice.
Yeah. Wait till you hear this first line. This is good. You're going to start cringing right off the rip.
Oh, no.
Ready for this?
Yeah.
17 male.
Okay.
Recently lost my job and been trying to get another one. And the cringy part I thought was the 17 because we know how teenagers are.
Yeah.
So I recently lost my job and trying to find a new one. Well, good for you. That makes me feel a little better. However, my parents and sister, 20 female, that must be the sister, have been relentlessly controlling me throughout this process. My dad is constantly telling me what to do, and if I don't do exactly as he wants, he gets mad at me. For example, he wanted me to go follow up on some jobs in person the day after I applied to them, which I think is completely ridiculous. I have no problem following up, but the next day? This is way too soon, in my opinion. Regardless, I've been trying to explain why I don't want to do that. Every time I try, they just get mad. When I try to defend my perspective, my sister just says I'm being rude and not teachable.
Older siblings always coming in to
put their 2 cents worth.
Not take your side at all.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
None of my experience or opinions are correct, and theirs is correct by default, which I think is faulty reasoning. Even if I have less experience or wisdom, that doesn't mean that all my opinions are wrong. I also tried to explain that I want to do this on the timeline I think is reasonable, and they just get mad and say I'm being unteachable. I don't know what that's got to be with unteachable, but I will admit that I have raised my voice and said some things that are rude, but that's because how angry this whole thing has made me. I have no control over the situation or my life, and I hate it. As a teenager, though, I got a feeling that this is not this is the way he sees it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it sounds like he's good, but there's something there that
is missing.
I think there's something there missing.
Yeah.
He didn't really say what he was doing, and he maybe not following up on jobs. I mean, you can't follow up the next day.
No. Oh yeah. No.
Because
no.
there's no way that, I mean, unless it's a mom and pop shop,
Mhm.
right? Some of your local businesses you can do that with, but big chain stores, right? They don't even look at your application for weeks.
Oh yeah. So, a lot of times, yeah.
Yeah, it takes
You
weeks
know.
for them to even look at it, let alone start thinking about whether they're going to hire you or not. So
How
that-
would his parents know that he's not following up on jobs either?
well, they probably said, "Did you follow up on that job?" Well, it was just yesterday, Dad.
Yeah. Well, yeah. How are you supposed to follow up on? Usually they give you a call back, or
Right.
like they'll send you an email. and
Well, yeah,
stuff,
unless
and
it's like a mom and pop shop.
Yeah,
mom and
yeah,
pop shop. You know, sometimes you can do that, and if you know the owners on a semi-personal level, like you know
Mhm.
of them,
Yeah.
then yeah. But still, how is that unteachable? You know, if you're, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think you should definitely follow up.
Yeah.
Give it a week, right?
Uh-huh.
But I'm wondering what kind of jobs he's picking.
Me too. Like,
I mean, they
Oh.
might be some pretty, like, really, like I don't understand why McDonald's didn't call me yesterday. But they're not going to, buddy. You want a job, you're gonna. I mean, I'm all for going out and making that annoying quest.
yeah.
I think it's good because it shows determination, but
Yeah.
not the next day.
Mm-mm.
Give it a couple days.
Yeah. They'll get back with you.
Yeah, or just give it like 3 or 4 days, and then go in there and say, "Hey, did you guys have a chance to look over my app yet?"
Mm-hmm.
No. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
See you in about 3 more days.
Yeah. Those types of big places like McDonald's or like convenience
Yeah.
stores and stuff, they're always looking for people.
No,
you know,
but
they're-
they always have the hiring sign up,
yeah.
but they're not always looking for people.
No.
They have found that in today's society, they can run short, keep their overhead down,
Yeah.
and customers will just deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, we're understaffed and nobody wants to show up to work. How many applications did you call on?
Nobody wants to pay them to show up to work.
Well, and these places do pay them, but they found that they can run short.
Well, that's what I mean.
Right.
Like your store would run efficiently and better, but people aren't gonna complain as much. You're always gonna get people that are complaining.
It's
But
like-
people are gonna deal with it over not going to the store in
Right.
the first place, and so they're like, well, if people are just gonna deal with it, we can save money by not hiring as many people to maintain.
Right, but
these
they
things.
still keep the hiring sign up.
Well, yeah, because
Just
if you
'cause-
have other people leave,
Well, not only
and
that, but if you have someone who goes, well, you need to hire people. I'm like, no, we're hiring.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're not, because you're not actually trying to fill the job.
Yeah.
Although you still are saying it's a cop out, right?
It's almost like they want reserves, pretty much.
Well,
for-
not even a reserve. They just want to be able to keep their overhead low,
that's what I'm saying.
so they
yeah.
can make more money.
hmm
And they use that. Well, we're hiring excuse is just that. It's just to shut the people up that are
Yeah.
arguing about. Well, you should hire more people. Well, we're trying to, but nobody shows up. No, you're not returning the thing. Like Kroger, right?
Mhm.
How many times did your sister put an application in there?
3 times, I think.
How many times did they call her back?
I think 0 times.
Yeah. Yeah, and the hiring sign is still up,
Oh yeah, yeah.
right? Same concept. They don't want to hire. They just keep that sign up as an excuse to shut the people up that are going to whine about it.
Yeah. Well, if you're understaffed, why don't you hire more? Oh, we are. They're just not
Yeah,
calling in.
Yeah, because nobody's showing up. Nobody wants to work. That's the biggest one. Well, nobody wants to work. No, people want to work. I have kids here that want to work. You guys, well, eventually you wanted to work, but there's a lot of people that still want to work.
You want them to work on your time, and
Right.
know,
I mean, it's just
when it's convenient for you.
the
and
companies
when
are
it's-
just
when it's not
tools.
costing you. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
that's all there is to that.
Glad I don't work for a convenience store or anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to either. But at any rate, no, I think your parents need to. I understand keeping on him to keep him focused,
Mm-hmm.
but don't degrade him saying he's unteachable.
Yeah, that's a great way to get them to stop putting in the effort. you know.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, if I'm degradable, maybe they're right. I'm just gonna not.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll just suck off you guys for the next year till you kick me out.
Yep.
So, I don't know. So, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I know that Corey and I would love to say thank you for all that have listened all the way through today's topic.
Big thank you.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And it actually made the end of today's discussion. We hope that you enjoyed it, and that we hope you come back next week for more conversation. And remember to like, follow, share, comment, stars on all of our platforms. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Audible. There
all
are
that good stuff.
Yeah, there are a few more that are kind of on the lower side of podcasting, but I know those are our main three right there.
Mm-hmm.
And that please feel free to leave us topics.
Oh yeah.
Comments.
Oh yeah.
I think I said it earlier, but mo9studios@gmail.com. For those that may have tried it but got a error, it is the letter M, the letter O, the number 9 studios@gmail.com. I understand how sometimes that might be a little confusing. And we would love to hear from you, right? Comments, just to say hi. Dad jokes. You heard our dad jokes. They're terrible.
Oh yeah.
We need some fresh ones. Write them down. Send them to us. We'll put them on here.
Heck yeah.
Yep. And you know what? You leave your name. We'll even dedicate the series.
Those
jokes. Yep.
Jokes. Yeah.
For sure. Right to you. You will be announced on a podcast. Woo! Moving up in the world. Yeah. So with that, I think we will leave you with this thought of the week.
Act as if what you do makes a difference, because it does. William James.
Yep. And with that, we will see you next time.
Later, skaters.